The proud teams of the U.S. and Canada in Game 2 next. Bud Ice and Bud Ice Light. Bud Ice, beware the penguins. By Bauer, the original hockey company. Bauer, leave an impression. By the new Dodge, we're thinking ahead. And by the intense, slammin', wicked, headbanging taste of dew. The guys with 30 pounds of equipment and all the pressure, the goalies.
Mike Richter again starts for Team USA. In last year's Stanley Cup playoffs, Montreal played the Rangers. First 2 games in New York, Montreal won them both. New York then won 4 straight. 3 of those wins were right here in this building, and Mike Richter was the best player on the ice for the Rangers. USA's hoping for a repeat performance.
The Edmonton Oilers' Curtis Joseph, perfect in 5 starts for Canada, needs just 1 more. 15 straight periods, including overtime. 8 goals against, that's all. Kerry Fraser, the relieving official in Game 1 overtime, is the referee to start tonight's Game 2. Gord Brosseker and Ray Scapinello are the linesmen.
Mentioned that with Mark Messier out of the lineup, Keith Primo will be in the lineup. Adam Graves will move to center ice in Messier's position. And also with Rob Blake out of the lineup with an elbow problem, Lyle Odeline, who was recently traded to the New Jersey Devils from Montreal, will be in the lineup playing for Team Canada. Ron Wilson, we heard off the top, intensity. He wants more puck carrying and shoot-ins from his defensemen. He wants in-your-face hockey early in the first period. We'll see if his team is nervous or not.
Gretzky, Domfus, and Linden for Canada. Scott, Stevens, and Desjardins. For Team USA, Г.Сутер and Челиос from the Chicago Blackhawks. LaFontaine, Detmarsh, and Joel Otto. From the glass and off the stick of Joseph. LaFontaine over to Otto. Right back for LaFontaine, but it sailed by. Eric Desjardins to take that. Desjardins' pass is on the money for Wayne Gretzky. Then ahead to Domfus. Domfus fed one in front, and Gretzky is wedged out of the play. There'll be a penalty coming up.
Г.Сутер will go.
Delayed penalty call. Puck fed back off of Linden, corralled by Team USA. And the best power play unit of the tournament gets an early chance to work just 39 seconds in.
Canada was 1 for 4 in the first game of the series. An Eric Lindros goal. Good breakout for Canada right out of their own zone. They recovered the puck, a couple of great passes, and all of a sudden Gretzky had given the puck to Domfus. He went to the net without the puck, and you see him try to get it back. And Г.Сутер took away the goal-scoring chance of Wayne Gretzky. So right away, Team Canada gets the power play. That's 39 seconds in.
Canada's power play in the first game against the United States was 1 for 4. They're operating close to 30% efficiency for the tournament. 3 out of 10, that's great. And they've got the guys to do it out there. Coffey and Sacking will be the point men. Domfus and Gretzky, the wingers for Eric Lindros. Hung up in skates, and it's forced back out. Interference, the call on Г.Сутер at 39 seconds. Hull and Doug Waite up front for the penalty-killing Team USA squad. Working around and back, it'll be Leach and Big Darian Hatcher. The hero, though, in a losing cause in the first game with 2 goals. Laid back in, and it's Domfus. Punched it behind and was hammered by Darian Hatcher. Gretzky from behind. Tossed one in front. It's jabbed away from Richter. Flipped off the outside of the net by Gretzky. Back to the point it comes. Sacking unable to keep in, and so Canada has to drop back.
Gretzky's been doing that a lot. Blindly throwing the puck at the goal anytime he's near the goal line, and Richter had to be sharp twice.
It is Gretzky ahead once more. Knifed out of the air by Waite, but cleared into traffic. Wrapped back around by Detmarsh, and it skipped back down the ice. Joel Otto, the forechecker. Matthew Schneider has now joined Челиос on defense. Detmarsh remains out. Joe Sacking fires it back off the glass. 55 to go on the penalty kill for Team USA. Joel Otto battling with Eric Lindros, and Lindros had his helmet lifted up on his head. Puck flipped along to him. He had not regained his stick, but kicked it on. Matthew Schneider took a hit, but rolled it around. Detmarsh put it back out, and Paul Coffey retrieves in the final 35 of the kill. Coffey just laying it back across. Desjardins up with it there. Able to get a pass that's tapped away from Coffey. LaFontaine now up to Scott Young for the short-handed Team USA. Young's shot is into the catching glove of Joseph. LaFontaine tried to brush it further, but instead Desjardins connects with Niedermeyer. On the backhand to Steve Yzerman, the hero of the last game. Yzerman double team. Puck squirted loose away from Darian Hatcher, and it's Niedermeyer. and into the seats with 6 left on the kill. What about the keys for the Americans tonight, John?
Team USA, they need to get their feet moving. Their coaching staff and players said in game 1 they didn't skate. Get the feet moving, especially early here. They want the defense to carry the puck more. If Canada's going to really crowd the neutral zone, the area between the blue lines, they need the defenseman to gain center ice with the puck and dump it into the zone. And frankly, their best players have got to play better. And when the coaching staff talks about their best players, they're talking about Doug Wade and Br.Hall and Mike Modano and these types of players. They have to have a strong game for Team USA to win it.
Scott Stevens, who had a strong game 1 for Canada. Kevin Hatcher nudged it behind. Claude Lemieux able to trickle it through. Adam Graves with it there. Graves did not see Brind'Amour. Out in front, Lemieux, a shot is saved by Richter. Lemieux able to chip it along. Matthew Schneider turns with it there. Schneider banked it along. Tkachuk connects back out. The kill is over for Team USA. The puck comes over to Stevens. Stevens ahead to Rod Brind'Amour from Philadelphia. Brind'Amour trickled one through. Richter out of his cage to play it. Whips it around with a big goal stick, and it's Graves. Graves popped it back. Matthew Schneider gave it up to Brind'Amour, but got it back again. Tkachuk pressed by Desjardins. The battle of the wall, and it's brushed in on Kevin Hatcher. Big defenseman out of Detroit, hands on to Bill Guerin from Wilbraham, Massachusetts. Guerin backhanding it into the corner, hustles back for it, but it's Eric Desjardins, the one-time Canadian defenseman. Back to Lindros, then to Brind'Amour. Brind'Amour bumped off by Brian Smolinski, and down he went. Good crunch to the boards by Smolinski. Meanwhile, the puck controlled by Team USA. 3 minutes and 45 seconds gone in the first period, and both teams with 1 shot on goal.
One shot for Team Canada on the power play. A super penalty kill, and it was needed by Team USA.
Amonti with a shot that got the glass on a great feed from Brian Smolинski.
This was Team USA's best line in Philadelphia. Leclere, Amonti, and Smolинski, and they start strong here.
It is Niedermeyer flipping that one along. Г.Сутер pinching, took the hit, got it back in deeper. Shanahan, but Suter, with help, plays it at the line and kept play alive. Lyle Odeline, now with the New Jersey Devils, though he's not even been to their camp yet, he's preoccupied playing for Canada. Jammed along, and Chris Челиос takes it. Chelios' pass is ahead, worked back over for Ammonti. Ammonti trying to paw his way by, can't do it. Instead, it's Adam Foote. The chant is Canada, Canada. Meanwhile, it's Scott Young. 4:45 gone first period. Both teams probing, looking for an attack. Hull a shot, and it's fought off and then covered by Curtis Joseph. 15:07 to go, first period. No score.
And Smolинski with a great pass. As you see to Ammonti, who put the puck high and over the goal. Lindros was on Ammonti. Smolинski is a good passer, and that's one thing that's really showing up in this tournament. In fact, Leclere on the same line plays with Lindros for Philadelphia. He says here he's been very surprised playing with Smolинski at how creative he is and what a good passer he is. And we saw it on that last play.
An icing touch-up. And what about Canada's keys to the games tonight, John?
With Team Canada, shifts very important. They feel they won the game in overtime against Sweden. They beat Team USA in overtime because they shortened their shifts. They had more gas in the gas tank late in the game or in overtime. They want to slow down the speedy U.S. team between the blue lines, really slow them down, take away the passing lines, and that again leads to smart neutral zone play. Don't get caught up ice. Team USA has a great deal of good finishers. Don't give them 3-on-2s and 2-on-1s.
Stoppage of play. A penalty coming up to Canada. Paul Coffey heads to the box. Team USA heads to the power play.
This is something we did not show during game 1. The game-winning goal was definitely offside. Rod Brind'Amour on the top of your screen in the red jersey goes over the blue line before the puck does. It was an offside that was missed by the official. And what we have noticed is Team USA has handled it very well. They said, A, the officials are the best in the world from North America, referees and linesmen. They're human, mistakes do happen. They also feel that it did not play well enough to win the game. Even though they were in it and it took that type of goal to beat them, they did not play near the level that they had played earlier in the tournament. And I applaud the coaching staff and players for handling the situation that way and also recognizing how great the officiating is in North America, because when you go around the world, it doesn't compare to what we have in North America.
Amen to that. hooking on Coffey at 5:13 elapsed time of the period. Kevin Hatcher wraps it on around. Eric Desjardins lost to Hull. Pointed on back. Leach shovels one. It's deflected on Joseph. Getting a piece of it was Tkachuk. Gloved along by Leach, but played out. Up the wing, big Eric Lindros with it. Lindros had it stripped away by Kevin Hatcher. Two big men went to the wall, and the puck's still up for grabs. Lindros, a splendid penalty-killing job, chewing up more Team Canada kill time. 1:10 to go on the Coffey minor. Back ahead they come. Waite dropping a pass, wanting to get it back again from Leach with one of Canada's defense. It's jammed on deep, and Tkachuk moved out to take it, but it's chased off by Stevens. He popped one along. Challenging is Kevin Hatcher. Steve Yzerman for Canada up with it, and Yzerman able to muscle it on. Rod Brindamore looking, has Yzerman. Yzerman shoots, and a save made by Richter on a bullet shot by Detroit's captain. 35 seconds left on the Coffey minor. No score in the game. The shots are 3-2, Team USA. LaFontaine rolled it along, but Niedermeyer cleared it back. It's Modano to take it there. They recoil for another rush. Suter's pass is on to LaFontaine. Fontaine walled up by Domfus, so Leclere must play. Odeline on him. Fed back to the point. Suter shoots one, and it's a rebound score! John Leclere, one of the heroes for Team USA in this tournament, has gotten the first goal of the game, and it comes on a power play.
Mike, you mentioned it 8 seconds ago on the penalty to Coffey, but you mentioned that Team USA recoils. They started the rush again. Pat LaFontaine got the puck and looked like he was going to lose it, but Team USA continued to battle. Right there, Leclerc's in on it. Modano's in on it. All the forwards. Back to Suter, and he just put the puck on goal. Leclerc's there. There is a rebound. And as Curtis Joseph gets up and moves across, the puck is shot underneath him. Niedermeyer is on Leclere. Leclere is so big and so strong, he's hard to control, and he scores on the rebound. Gary Suter did not fool around. He got the puck on the far side along the boards, put the shot on goal, didn't mess around, and Leclere went to the net, and USA leads 1-0 on a power play.
Of all the big stars in this tournament, from all 8 countries, no one has gotten more goals, no one has more points in the tournament than the young man from St. Albans, Vermont, John Leclere. Linden has it taken away by Smolensky. Scott Young's pass is on to Ammonti. Tried to get through the Canadian wall, could not. Coffey's pass is tipped into Domfus, but he gave it up again. Moving back in, Scott Young, but it's lost to Domfus. Forced further by Smolensky. Canada looking a little jittery right now. Puck skipped ahead. Wayne Gretzky brings it on. Shuttles it off to Linden. Linden to Gretzky. Checked from behind by Smolensky. Loose puck is played by Smolensky to the corner. Domfus hit. So Brian Smolensky out of Michigan State wraps it along. Adam Foote had that one, but the read is Matthew Schneider. Headman's on to Ammonti, who's in. Ammonti fed one across. Young a shot and a save made by Curtis Joseph. Long pass is off Gretzky's stick. And Челиос will play it.
Gretzky's blade broke right off the stick.
Back ahead is Guerin with a drive, and that one went wide. Ricocheted back, and it's Suter back in.
Mike, there was a 3-on-2 for Canada. They never got a shot. There was a 3-on-2 for Team USA. They got the good scoring chance by Young. USA looks very sharp. They're using speed. Their passing is good.
Here is Sacking. Oh, and he's rocket wide. Another shot, and it flops wide. Boy, oh boy, did Team Canada come up with some great shots just off the mark. Otto drops, and it's taken by Sacking. 6 shots to 2, Team USA. Brendan Shanahan waits. Lobs one for Sacking, who's in. Wrapped up from behind, and coming out was Richter. And a penalty to Team USA. Bedlam here at the Molson Center. 1-0 on Leclerc's power play goal, but Canada will have the man advantage in a moment.
There was a 3-on-2, Team USA, and there Curtis Joseph with a nice save off of Scotty Young. And then Gretzky thought maybe he had a breakaway, but the blade snapped right off the aluminum shaft, and he could not move in with the puck. Joe Sakic just finished maybe his best shift of the tournament. He made it happen at both ends of the ice, and he drew the penalty to Deadmarsh.
Deadmarsh the hold at 8:47. Sakic will stay out and play the left point. Paul Coffey the right. Gretzky and Shanahan with Lindros.
I should say Joe Sakic's best shift of the tournament. Not the best shift in the tournament. Sacik has not been really strong. He hasn't been scoring like he normally can. But he was just flying. Had a scoring chance, missed the net, and here he is playing the point on the power play.
It is Coffey to Sackick and quickly to Gretzky. Coffey fired and knocked down by Hull and cleared. Otto coming to the bench. Hull will stay out. Back for Team USA are Leach and Darian Hatcher. The other shorthanded forward is Doug Waite. Curtis Joseph. Sackick left him. Waite plays the safety. Darian Hatcher into the glove of Lindros, who motors ahead. Lindros drops. Shanahan fires.
What a play by Eric Lindros. Team USA had the puck. They were going to fire it down the ice, killing the penalty, and Eric Lindros just reached up and pulled the puck right out of the air. All 6'4". About 6'7" on skates. And he knocked the puck down right here. Watch Hatcher fire the puck up ice. Here's Lindros. He intercepts and moves into the zone. Shanahan regroups. And one thing about Brendan Shanahan, he's got one of the best shots in the league. He was moving to his left, still got velocity on the shot, and has tied the game up with a power play. Look at this. Shanahan moved to his left, leaned into the shot, through the screen of Hatcher. Mike Richter didn't have a chance. Tied up at one, both teams strike on the power play.
Brendan Shanahan's third, his second power play goal of the tournament. Lindros getting the primary assist. So it is a 1-all tie, and the shots are 6-4 Team USA. Stevens connects with Theo Fleury. This has been a damaging line for Canada. Yzerman is taken out, and Stevens a rising shot that got the glass. Desjardins to Yzerman again. Yzerman dumped it off. Theo Fleury goes to get it. Bumped into by Kevin Hatcher. Behind it's Brind'Amour. Brind'Amour battling, and Leclere took it away. John Leclere sees it nudged on. Smolински able to dump it back in. Desjardins to play that one. Desjardins drops it off to Scott Stevens. Past the halfway point of the first period, both teams have a goal. Brind'Amour moving ahead. Wipes out, still tries to play. Yzerman wedged off by Челиос and centered one. Fanning on it was Odeline. Team USA wants to take advantage. Leclere got it up the wing. Bill Guerin moving in. Guerin a shot and a save made by Joseph.
Leclere went to the net. Odeline was right there playing in-your-face hockey. You talked about Yzerman, Brind'Amour, and Fleury doing damage in this tournament. I think with Messier out of the lineup because of the flu bug and the groin injury, that line will play more than they have in the past. Even though Fleury and Yzerman have gotten big goals, they have not had near the ice time that the other forwards have. Here, Odeline fanned on the shot, tight to Mike Richter, got trapped, but Adam Graves came off the bench, and the center iceman, and a center iceman should be the quarterback in a defensive zone. He went right back and filled in for Odeline, forcing the shot on goal from the bad angle.
Maybe it's wrong to focus on what will become of these guys once this thrilling tournament is over, but Brendan Shanahan continues to be rumored everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. We hear a lot of Philadelphia Flyer rumors, and would he ever look good playing in Philadelphia with the big train? I'll tell you what, though, that's a big salary along with Eric's big salary, Mike. You know, that's a lot of fish and angles you got to come up with every couple of weeks. I'll tell you what.
2 more years to go on Eric's 6-year deal, and we understand there have been chats about an extension, and why not? Lindros in on this face-off that is won by him to Niedermayer. Niedermayer dumped. Г.Сутер there. Shoots one, and it was deflected in front by Keith Tkachuk. And ahead, Shanahan. Then Lindros. Then Shanahan, and on. Shanahan misfired for Odeline, but he steps up. Odeline lobbing it behind. It's chopped away by Chris Челиос. Taken by Team USA's Bill Guerin. Guerin just lobbed it back in. Joseph out of his net, steering, but in trouble. Rolled around, and the pinching Челиos kept it alive, but just for a moment. It's back to neutral ice. Shanahan thumped on him, and a solid hit by Г.Сутер. We hope you're enjoying this one. Game 2, best of 3. Canada won the first 4-3 in overtime in Philadelphia 2 nights ago. If Team USA wins tonight, regardless of how long it takes, there will be a third and final game here in Montreal on Saturday. 8:44 to go in the first period. Leclere and Shanahan, the goal scorers. Up on the condition of Mark Fawcett, the referee, who had a couple of broken teeth the last game. We understand that he has had root canal. During the intermission before overtime, Brian Burke, the senior vice president of the league and dealing with the officials, came in and said, Mark, I know you want to stay in the game. If you can be 100%, just tell me and you're in there. But if you're anything less than 100%, say so. And Mark Fawcett said, put Kerry in. And Kerry Fraser went in and finished. Oh, what a play by Ditmarsh, and a backhander was saved by Curtis Joseph. Downstairs to Jim Fox and Rob Blake. Canada tonight, but a change brought in Lyle Odeline for his very first game at defense. On Team Canada's squad tonight are 4 defensemen who have played for the Montreal Canadiens. Odeline, one of them, recently traded to New Jersey for Stéphane Richer. Centering pass is flagged down by Claude Lemieux, another of the former Montreal Canadiens in Team Canada's lineup tonight. Young with a pass back. Keith Primo brushes it back in deep. Around behind now it is Richter handing over for Derian Hatcher and then to Brian Leach.
Mike, the shots here in the first period, 8-4 for Team USA. And Curtis Joseph, in my mind, Canada's MVP, has been real strong again.
And was capable on that squibber that came into him just now. It is Matthew Schneider firing it back around. Desjardins saw it go off the linesman. Here's Br.Hall bringing it on. Hull with a pass over to Scott Young, and a shot is deflected high and into the seats. 7 minutes and 42 seconds of playing time from now. Our new Dodge intermission report will take place. We will see Jim Fox chatting with that man, Theo Fleury, live. What a tournament he has had. A feature on John Leclere, that guy from Vermont, the only Vermont-born NHLer. Highlights of this first period, and lots more coming up, too. Just one final thought. I think one of the great examples of courage we've seen in this tournament was Mark Fawcett with 1:50 to go in the third period, staying in. He cannot take Novocaine, so that made it even harder for him to recover, to even work the overtime.
That means for the root canal was probably the gas stuff, huh? Oh, my goodness.
Recovering down in Florida now, we understand. Puck wound up underneath a couple fallen Team Canada players, Yzerman and Desjardins. 7:28 to go in the first and a 1-all tie.
Now they're talking about Steve Yzerman around, well, actually right across Canada with the game-winning goals that he's had in the tournament. 1972, when Canada played the Soviet Union in that great 8-game series, number 19 was Paul Henderson, who scored the 3 game-winning goals. So they're starting to look, number 19, you never know.
Kevin Hatcher, a shot that went off Curtis Joseph. Kevin Hatcher to play it. Watched by Brindamore, but he just guides it back across for Matthew Schneider. Crisply to Kevin Hatcher. Hatcher moving ahead with it. Pass went away from Tony Ammonti. Yzerman tried to finesse on with Fleury, but it's Kevin Hatcher again. Tony Ammonti with it. Rammed. Oh, and he got out of the way of most of the hit of Desjardins, and moving in is Ammonti. Ammonti around, trickled one through John Leclere. And it's Stevens. Big crowd quiet right now. 1-all tie. Theo Fleury bringing it on for Canada. Bumped along the wall by Челиос. Fleury pivots. Sent one out in front that went off the leg of Matthew Schneider and is advanced back out. Fleury just tried to spin it back, but it went off Brindamore. Team Canada making a change.
Team USA has only made the one mistake, really, and that led to the power play goal by Shanahan when Lindros created the turnover. The only thing with Team USA is they haven't finished. They've had 9 shots. They've had odd man rushes. And Curtis Joseph has been very good.
Moving back ahead now, it's Modano. Modano trying to turn, tried to center. Niedermeyer said no. Tkachuk put it off the back of the goal. Bill Guerin up with that one. Guerin, the right winger for Team USA to Modano. Wrist shot! And that one went off Curtis Joseph and then went wide. Moving back up with this is big Trevor Linden from Vancouver. Drops for Dom Fusa's shot, but it's clutched and held by Richter.
Fabulous goaltending. Curtis Joseph made a save with his right leg through traffic. Big Keith Tkachuk was right in front, and then Mike Richter makes a fabulous glove save. Marvelous glove save with Dom Foose shooting the puck. Dom Foose has a sneaky, quick shot. Playing on a line with Linden along with Gretzky, and through the screen of Suter, there you see the shot high to the glove side, and Richter makes a sharp one, a real sharp one. That's what you call a scoring chance off the rush, where forwards crisscross, try to find some space, and it was good passing there. Linden, Dom Foose, and Gretzky have been together throughout the tournament. The only thing the coaching staff said, if Gretzky stays on the ice for a long shift, they want the wingers off. You can't stay on the ice as long as Gretzky. You'll get worn out.
Wayne's just 35. Coffee a shot that went wide. And the wingers are a lot younger. Played now by Coffee. Wayne Gretzky seems to be continually in competition with his former self. Not many players have to go through that. But ahead now comes LaFontaine. A 3-on-3. The drop pass now to Otto and a shot. Passed up, and then a Leclere was held by Joseph.
Another odd man rush, but Curtis Joseph is there again. Actually, it developed into a 4-man rush, but they never used Hatcher, the defenseman, moving up. Real good shot by Joel Otto, and we're seeing a spectacle of great saves and goal. I mean, the fans here across this country in Canada understand that Curtis Joseph has been fabulous. Used to live in St. Louis, city of actually Manchester, part of St. Louis. Watch the crisscrossing drop pass, and then Otto with a real quick shot. Joseph, now the puck kind of crawls along. Watch him reach back. Oh, nicely done. Nicely done. No panic with the way Curtis Joseph plays goal.
Well, they remember him in St. Louis for some glorious performances, though he's now with Edmonton.
There's a group of 7 homes on a cul-de-sac where Curtis used to live. They didn't know anything about hockey till he moved in, and he got them involved, and they loved Curtis Joseph and the Blues. The only problem is Curtis got traded to Edmonton, and he plays for Canada. So this little cul-de-sac in Manchester is pulling for Team Canada this series, so he's telling me. Without telling anybody, you know, there's...
we probably shouldn't give the street a...
No, I won't. And I know the name of the cul-de-sac, too, but I better not say it.
This one kicks back through. The teams are at full strength, 11 shots to 5, Team USA. The game tied at 1. It was Leclere from Q*Suter and Modano on the power play at 7:06. Shanahan from Lindros at 9:23. Matthew Schneider connects back over with Scott Young. Then along it is sent for Waite, chopped from him by Coffey, and read by Adam Foote. A long pass, Claude Lemieux. Spun in front, and a deflection by Waite, who was positioned right in front of Curtis Joseph. Coffey moves back, but Waite got there first. Coffey holds on to him. Hull put it in front, but it was swept away. And a shot that went wide by Young. A 2-on-2. Now a 1-on-2. Claude Lemieux trying to get through as Team Canada takes this opportunity to make a change. 4 minutes and 45 seconds to go first period. Game tied at 1. Desjardins flips. Team USA making a change of its own now. And so it's controlled by the defense. John Leclere is back out there. Smolинski knocked it down with a high stick, and so play is halted. 11 shots to 5, and the goal's even at 1.
There you see the scoring leaders for Team USA in the tournament. John Leclere with those 9 points leads everybody in the entire tournament. Hull and Waite play on the same line. They've been quiet in the final here against Canada. Team USA needs more out of those two scoring-wise in this game, just to make the possibility of Saturday.
Stevens, a shot, and it ricocheted off Richter and then popped into the seats. What a scorching shot by Scott Stevens.
I think that went off of Chris Челиос, the defenseman, and Richter had to really battle to stay with the puck itself. What does that say?
Just married?
Congratulations.
Well, there are priorities.
See, Scott Stevens' shot hit Челиos? Yes, right off the blade of his stick, and see Richter stay with it. And he really stayed with that with his left arm. Didn't even know where the rebound went, but it went off of him into the stands.
It is Q*Suter, and then Leclere. Across to Челиos. And back in. On the ricochet. They try to shank in front. The backhand attempt by Leclerc is blocked down and then covered by Curtis Joseph.
Again, Team USA getting to the net, getting some rebounds, getting some deflections. But the stone wall's there. Curtis Joseph again makes the save, and he's a great anticipator. Reads plays well. He was down with his stick down on the ice, expecting the low shot, which he got. Talking to Tony Ammonti from Team USA today, he was very impressed with Joseph, and he said it was interesting to watch Joseph. Even in practice, you can't predict what he's going to do. Scott Stevens backs up. He and Desjardins, the defense pair, and there's the low shot by Leclere. And then you see the shot up high from Stevens. This is one mean game with everything on the line here.
From the tie-up. Leclere canceled with Desjardins, and it's thrown back ahead. Controlled back out by Gretzky and just tapped in. Curtis Joseph continuing Edmonton Oilers goaltenders' participation and prominence in international tournaments. 84 and 87, it was Grant Fuhr in the Canada Cup, Bill Ranford at 91, and the 94 World Tournament too.
And what's amazing is Joseph was brought to Team Canada as the third goalie. Bill Ranford and Martin Brodeur were thought of as possibly being the starters. Joseph was brought in because he's a heck of a good guy. And they thought if he was going to be the third guy and have to practice every day, he's got the ideal personality for it. Here's Martin Brodeur of the New Jersey Devils, and Bill Ranford is the third fella, who belongs to the Boston Bruins. But Joseph just surprised everybody from day one, earned the job, and certainly has kept it. And maybe not only Canada's MVP, but maybe the MVP of the tournament.
Niedermeyer a shot, and it hit off Lindros. Shanahan a shot, and Richter traps that one and hangs on.
Now, there's an example of Richter and his style of play. He stays on his feet as much as possible, has huge thighs, and has great lateral movement. He can move quickly. Shanahan again in on the offensive play. His older brother, Brian, was a member of the Six Nations Chiefs team, which last week won the Canadian National Lacrosse Championship. So his family hoping that tonight it'll be another championship for the family. Lacrosse, another tough game, Mike.
Mean game. You ever play it? Shanahan with a shot. It's not like I knew the answer right away. Tkachuk moving in, firing it around behind. Darian Hatcher. Boy, to be a goaltender in lacrosse, you need about 85 pounds of equipment, don't you? And then you can't move. Thrown across by Guerin. You'd like the size of the net, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's
small
smaller,
net.
yeah.
Odeline back. Touched up for an icing.
Guerin went in heavily. Appears to be okay. Guerin and Tkachuk, two power forwards for Team USA. And now Tkachuk and Shanahan nose to nose. These are two power forwards on the ice with Mike Modano, a speedy centerman. And that man, Ron Wilson, wants his power forwards to play a prominent role in this game, especially forechecking deep in Canada's zone. Guerin goes for the puck here, tries to get around Odeline. Watch him lose his edge. Oh, man, he's lucky to be all right. Icing is called, as you see there from the linesman, Gord Brosseker. But Ron Wilson wants the big forwards, the power forwards. Guerin, who's 200 pounds, and Tkachuk to move in, and with his 210 pounds, battle deep, battle around the front of the goal. I think Ron Wilson would be very satisfied with this first period here, outshooting Canada 12-7 to this point. Tied up in one. They made the one glaring error on the turnover, which led to the power play goal against it. But they've been much better than what they showed in period one in Philadelphia.
Yzerman's pass, but Odeline was outside the line. Dumped back in on a delayed offside that is now wiped. Kept alive by Fleury. A shot deflected in front and then scooped right into goaltender Mike Richter, and he'll hold. Boy, what Mike Richter has had to overcome is significant. A lot of rehab in that guy's life the last 12 months.
Last December, he was, you can see his attitude, he's giggling with the referee. Last December, he was on a roll, playing the best role we had seen him play since the Cup victory in '94 of the Rangers. And then in Edmonton, right before New Year's Eve, he made a split and really yanked the muscle and part of the muscle off the bone, the groin injury. And he was out for a couple of months. Recovered slowly, was re-injured in Pittsburgh, but has really worked all summer to get strong and has played well for Team USA.
Otto trying to get through, but it's Brind'Amour getting it on to Fleury. Fleury a shot, and it's shrugged away by Richter. Another shot, and that didn't find its way in. Another shot, and Richter blocked that one off. Boy, Mike Richter strong now for Team USA as Canada has closed the shot gap to 12-10.
Well, Team USA better pay attention to this line. Fleury, Brind'Amour, and Yzerman. They've been the catalyst for Team Canada. Whenever they need something, they seem to provide it.
Snyder's pass is blocked by Foot. Linden takes it for Canada to Coffey flying ahead. All Coffey's pass back checked away by Scott Young. Just shuttled back out again. Chopped along further by Desjardins. Young couldn't play. Domfus could, but his pass was away from Gretzky. Gretzky held up by Waite so that Suter can wrap it around. Desjardins stepped by, but couldn't control. Now a 3-on-2 for Team USA. Br.Hall steams it back in. Joseph able to break that by just stopping the puck and sweeping it from where it came. Suter hustles to keep. Flips one in front that went off a couple of shoulders. Jammed at by Young. Still trying to control. Wrist shot found its way through to Joseph, and a save. And now Stevens pitched away by Domfus, and Gretzky brings it up the wing. Nice denial, though, by the defense. Gary Suter made that play and then passed over to Waite, who just plopped it back in. 90 seconds to go in the first period. So if there's no change, you think Ron Wilson's happy?
Well, I think until the last 3 minutes here, that Fleury, Yzerman, Brind'Amour line get on the ice and they make it happen.
Leach put it on goal. A little bit of a fight there for Joseph, and then Odeline off of Amonti's stick. Shanahan nudges it across. Joe Sackick brings it on. Sackick crosses and looks. Stoppage of play and a penalty coming out.
There'll be a penalty to each player, a holding call against Team USA, and a slash, I believe, against Shanahan. They're very happy with the way things have gone. They'll get a gold or a silver in this tournament. Here's Shanahan and Amonti. There's the hold by Amonti, back checking, and Shanahan's stick in a reckless way when he knew where Amonti was. It went right up over the side of the head of Tony Ammonti. So both players go to the box. The World Championships, Team USA got themselves a bronze in Vienna. The national ladies women's team got themselves a silver in Vancouver, and the national team, the inline team, won a championship, got a gold in St. Paul, so they're happy with Team USA hockey.
Boy, Sacik almost connected there, and he's up with it again. Worked over by Kevin Hatcher. Sacik and Hatcher to the corner. Smolински coming by to take. And then Leclerc. Leclerc's pass came to Scott Stevens, yanked it on back for Desjardins. Smolинski on him, but he's able to control. The final 43 of the period. Leclerc on Desjardins, muscled through Kevin Hatcher, but it came out to Stevens. Stevens jamming it back in. Here's Joe Sacik. Sacik hit by Kevin Hatcher. Puck spun back off. Stevens couldn't take that one. Haven't noticed Darian Hatcher out on the ice lately. He had a thundering hit earlier. I don't know if he might have been hurt or whether he's just being benched right now.
He's on the bench. I know that he's the one that turned the puck over in the Lindros goal. Team Canada with a strong final 4 minutes to this first period. Mike Richter, that's probably where he's been the strongest of the period, as we have a 1-1 score with 12.5 seconds to go.
So Eric Lindros, one of the Canadians playing above Payne, has had thumb problems during the tournament. Wayne Gretzky has played despite back problems. And again, for those of you just joining us, Mark Messier is not in the lineup tonight.
He's out with a case of the flu, sinus problems, along with a groin injury. And he said he felt like he was beaten up by a gorilla when he arrived here at about 5:30. And for him to miss a game of this magnitude, you know he's got himself a health problem, unable to play. And that affects the whole team, Mike. It affects their power play, their penalty kill, their face-offs, and attitude, too. My Odeline playing here said, listen, now I know why Montreal did not beat the New York Rangers after being in the locker room with Mark Messier.
The first period has come and gone, both for them to serve. We've heard from Eddie Johnston a lot during this tournament. He is the head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins, undoubtedly elated to have Mario Lemieux deciding to play one more year. The big fellow will be skating with Pittsburgh, we understand, beginning next week. Jaromir Jagr has arrived with the team from the Czech Republic squad, which was a surprising early exit. Here's a pass ahead to LaFontaine, and he nearly was able to worm one in. Defensive play from behind by Desjardins. All the way down on Richter it comes. Richter able to spin it back off the boards. Stepping to that is Sacik. Trickled it along for Eric Lindros. 20 seconds from now, both teams will get a man back. This is Joe Sacik. Sacik on back. Scott Stevens trouble with LaFontaine. Leach able to twist with it now. Ryan Leach, captain of Team USA, starts it back out with a pass for LaFontaine. Desjardins took care of him, so it's Sacik. In 2 seconds and in 1. And now both teams get a man back. Full strength hockey, game tied at 1. Early stages of the second period of our game tonight from Montreal. Long pass is up to Amonti and dicked back in on the backhand. Set up behind by Curtis Joseph for Coffey. Through Smolинski, but to Челиос. Hurried one that went off Coffey's stick to the glass. Now John Leclerc centered one across, just away from Smolинski. Ryan Smolинski with a pass on. It's taken by Amonti. Back to Smolинski. Shoots one. Score! Team USA has broken the tie. A deflection at the front of the net. And the United States is ahead 2-1. And John Leclerc is the guy who got it.
It's that line again. They have been very strong in this final series with Team Canada. And they've always been around the goal, as is John Leclerc. The former Montreal Canadian, now Philadelphia Flyer, gets the go-ahead goal. Good low shot from the blue line. It was going to be a penalty upcoming as Trevor Linden had broken his stick. He was going to get penalized. There's the low shot and the little deflection in front. As a goaltender, you want to go down and spread your feet out, so you cover the whole bottom of the net with your goal pads. Watch Joseph go down, but it's a little deflection back to the left side. And Leclerc was on the deflection. There's some bench reaction. The defense looking on. Schneider and Leach, along with Mike Modano. 2-1 Team USA. A delayed penalty led to the goal by Leclere.
Smolensky will get 1 assist. This coming at 1:20. Leclere, 2nd of the night and 6th of the tournament. For John Leclere, that is his 3rd goal of the final series, and this is just the 2nd game. Matthew Schneider able to flip it back in. All Coffey goes to get it.
You can hear those fans in Vermont, Mike. It's not that far from here. Pretty excited, I would imagine.
It is Leclere centering, but Claude Lemieux up with that one. 1:45 gone, 2nd period. Lemieux bringing it ahead. Lemieux with a shot, hit off the outside of the goal, then went off Primo's glove. Matthew Schneider's pass is off the mark, taken by Adam Foote, just lobbed right back in again. Mike Richter out of his goal for Team USA. Sped it along to Schneider. Moving out with Tony Ammonti, but the pass sailed by Hull. And back down. There'll be an icing. Br.Hull has not been the subject of as much derision tonight and booing as he was in Ottawa. Born in Belleville, Ontario, Canada, he has dual citizenship, and owing to a choice that Team USA made of him to play in 1986, he has decided, they picked me when Canada didn't want me. I'm sticking with these guys.
We mentioned earlier in the tournament he's playing left wing, normally a right winger who wanders around the ice. Scott Young, his line mate, was on the left side, didn't like it. He says he's much better playing right wing, so Br.Hull said, fine. I just go where there's open ice anyway. So he's meshed on the line pretty well with Doug Waite, even though they have not had many good quality scoring chances in this final series with Canada.
Chris Chelios came up with an assist along with Smolensky on the Leclere 2nd goal. Puck along out of Brindamore, tried to center, but could not. Steve Yzerman picked it away. Trickled one on back to the point. It is Coffey over to Yzerman, then to Theo Fleury. Fleury, a shot, a quick one, and getting a piece of it. Richter, and then it came back near his feet, but he's able to grab and hang on. Downstairs to Jim Fox.
Thanks very much, Mike. More on that forecheck by Team Canada. Eddie Johnston mentioned the situation. Not only the first man, he feels the 2nd man for Team Canada has to get in quicker. Otherwise, the cross pass of the U.S. defenseman break them out and catch too many forecheckers in deep. So it's a unit, a 5-man unit that has to work hard on the forecheck, not just the first man.
Well, Jimmy, the forecheck worked there for Team Canada. They got a couple of shots. Again, Yzerman, Fleury, and Brindamore getting it done for Team Canada, but not scoring. The 2 lines are becoming the story in this game. The Smolensky line for Team USA and this Brindamore, Yzerman, Fleury line for Team Canada.
LaFontaine on to Otto. Then on the wing, it's crossed back for Otto again. Rolled along by LaFontaine. Still they're able to control and Joel Otto. Centered one off LaFontaine. Deadmarsh up with it. Deadmarsh a pass and LaFontaine couldn't get a shot away. Started out by Adam Graves. Connects back up with Lyle Odeline. Watched by Г.Сутер. The drop comes over to Niedermeyer. Then back to Odeline again. Centered one, but it's read by Joel Otto.
How about that? Niedermeyer and Odeline. The 2 defensemen were in on the offensive play. That's why Niedermeyer held up and went back in case there was a turnover. You can't have both your defensemen at the other team's net.
1 shot apiece in this period. 3:20 played. The 1 shot by Team USA was the goal that broke the 1-all tie. John Leclere with a pair, surrounding a goal scored by Brendan Shanahan for Canada in the 1st period. This is Richter. But that was Lindros. Centers to Saki. Hits the post with the shot. Puck back to the point. Stevens fires, and getting his legs on that was Darian Hatcher. Leclere connects back up with Ammonti. A 3-on-1. Ammonti is in with Smolensky. The feed over to Darian Hatcher. The return. Ammonti couldn't handle.
Shanahan heavily into the goal net. Darian Hatcher heavily into the boards. Hatcher scored a goal in Philadelphia where he moved in like that and roofed the puck. In fact, Curtis Joseph was saying what a great shot it was. This time he elected to pass the puck and not shoot it. It didn't work. A goal post for Joe Sackick. The big forwards, Lindros and Shanahan, were in deep. They got the puck back to Joe Sackick, and a great wrist shot. Hit the far goal post on Mike Richter. There's Richter moving his right leg. He was beaten on the play. And then at the other end of the ice, a 3-on-1 for Team USA, and they have had a lot of odd man rushes so far in this game.
Shanahan got back up to play. Brendan Shanahan lays it across to Desjardins. Sacking with an amazing take. Moving back in, and a wrist shot is blocked down. Lindros on back now for Stevens. Then to Sacking. Sacking a backhander, and getting a piece of it was Mike Richter in goal for Team USA. Back up now, Brian Smolински moving with Amonti. Smolинski tried to get it to the front. Stevens said no. Sackick ahead, brushed away by Derian Hatcher, but then Lindros trying to dance through. Lindros' shot knocked and it went off Richter. Derian Hatcher scooped it behind. Sackick turning with it, but then Shanahan. Around to the helmet was Lindros. Lindros beating one, and Amonti cut it off, and here's another odd man rush if they hurry. The pass comes ahead, but away from Leclerc, and back down to be taken by Desjardins.
Again, we're seeing the Derian Hatcher-Lindros matchup. Only Hatcher's changing a little quicker in this game. You can't go nose for nose with Lindros and stay on the ice for long shifts. Be smart, get rested.
Kevin Hatcher's pass was flagged down by foot. An exchange between Lindros and Pat LaFontaine a moment ago. One of the smaller men on the ice and one of the biggest. All the way down now, it is tapped along by Richter right near a helmet. Kevin Hatcher for that one, but it's yanked on around to Dom Foose. Dom Foose behind the goal looking for a pass. Now moves out, backhander blocked. Another shot, Gretzky! Oh, and getting a piece of his shot with Snyder out front. Oh, scramble there, and still they can't get it home. Another shot, and Richter got that one off the stick of Linden. To the corner they battle. Gretzky had it swept away by Kevin Hatcher.
All started with Richter having trouble with the puck and the helmet sitting back there, and Team Canada with the forecheck going. You heard their coaches talk about it with Jim Fox. They're sending two men deep, and it's happening.
Moving in is Mодano. Backhander floated wide off Niedermeyer. Foot there chased by Hull. Now it's Niedermeyer again, getting some help from Adam Foot. Wrapped it around for Niedermeyer. Just over 14 to play, second period. 2-1, and a steal by Scott Young. Fires, and getting a piece of it was Curtis Joseph. The shots are 16-15, Team USA. Modano turns and hands it back ahead, but across two lines, and the clock is stopped.
Well, the action just builds. Usually when it starts at one end, it ends up going right back to the other end. Gretzky had trouble there trying to get the puck. It was in his midsection. He wanted to knock it down. Looks like he's hurting a little bit too. He may have taken a slash as he was talking to the referee. Mike, chances at both ends of goaltender spectacular. Mike Richter had trouble with the puck and ended up giving it away. And then Dom Foose watched Hatcher block the shot, and then Richter do a little dance, just like he was on hot coals. Up, down, sideways, backwards, trying really not to knock the puck into the net himself, especially when Gretzky had it behind the goal line. And then what a great shot by Scotty Young. He stole the puck from Niedermeyer, and Curtis Joseph kicked it out with his right foot.
Bill Guerin trying to get away. In for the drive, and the save made by Joseph. Looked like Gretzky in that replay had caught a stick, I believe, from Matthew Schneider, and that's what he was complaining about. Here's Fleury bringing it on. Cannot get through. Fleury tried to center, and it was Г.Сутер again. Follow-up comes from Modano. Little pass is taken by Bill Guerin. Guerin tried for Tkachuk. Knifed right back at Theo Fleury. Wanted to feather one through and got it on to Brind'Amour. Brind'Amour trying to get by. Rod Brind'Amour left it behind. Modano run into by Yzerman. Couldn't get it to Fleury. Loose puck is in on goal, and Richter hangs on.
Oh, they do it again. They do it again. Brind'Amour, Fleury, Yzerman. Yzerman met up with Modano, and I don't think Modano was ready for the body check and ended up going to the ice surface. And Canada kept the puck going. Did not get the clean shot, and Richter did the right thing. Frees the puck up, slow things down in his own zone. This line, it's almost remarkable at how they've played as a unit coming off the bench for Team Canada. Watch the hit on Modano. Yzerman. Modano didn't see it till the last second. Yzerman was coiled, and he just sprung right up with his legs, knocked Modano off the puck, and then set up the scoring chance. Finally, you'll see Richter grab a hold of the puck, as that line has been by far, in my opinion, the best line for Team Canada in this particular game. Look at Yzerman. The leg push, like a football player moving in, knocking Modano backwards.
When Steve Yzerman arrived in Detroit, first-year player Mike Modano was living in Detroit at age 14. Desjardins a shot off the leg. Scooped along for Leclere, but knocked away from Smolинski. Puck up for grabs. Battled for by Leclere. Forced on further, but control and a toss back in by Scott Stevens. Derian Hatcher. 2 goals in the last game, but his team lost that. His team is ahead in this one, 2-1 with 12:45 to go in the second. John Leclere bringing it on. Flips one that's knifed out of the air by the high stick of Desjardins, and play once again is stopped. We'll return to Montreal for the continuation of period 2 right after this.
all tournament long, we've talked about the pressure on Team Canada. Well, Team Canada's dressing room tonight is normally the dressing room of the Montreal Canadiens. Talk about pressure. How big is hockey in Montreal with the Canadiens? Look at this. They have the Hall of Famers, all the Hall of Famers that have played for the Montreal Canadiens. They're looking down on the team. And right now, the entire country of Canada is looking down on Team Canada. That's what I call pressure.
It is that indeed, and they all recognize it. Paul Coffey has said, we know the deal going in. If we lose, we're bums. Otherwise, things are as they are supposed to be. So that's the type of pressure that guys like that will feel. Brian Smolensky from Team USA about to take the draw with Wayne Gretzky. Middle stages, second period. Team USA is ahead by 1. Right on goal from Derian Hatcher. Odeline, Dom Foose. Pursued by Smolensky and along for Niedermeyer. And Odeline once again. The shots in the period, 4 for Team USA, 18 in the game, 5 for Canada, 16 in the game. Derian Hatcher again on to Smolensky. Derian Hatcher once more. Good hit put on John Leclerc. They still battle. Puck went off of Linden. And it's Brian Leetch. Leetch smoked out by Linden. Gets help from Smolensky. Lobs it on for Tony Ammonti. Ammonti, nice feather pass for Smolensky. In with John Leclerc. Smolensky shoots one. It's off the outside of the goal. Derian Hatcher put it off the outside of the goal. They battle for it there. Leclerc up with it. John Leclerc to the boards. Odeline on him, so it's dropped back near Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer jousts with Ammonti. Leclerc centered, and Gretzky was in front of the net to clear. Another shot on goal. Fought off by Joseph. What a play by Curtis Joseph. A tough one. And back up now comes Niedermeyer. Connecting back on to Dom Foose. Vincent Dom Foose cannot get through. Linden follows up. Dealt it on to Gretzky. Fed one on a cross. Moving in his Coffey, and a shot went for the crease wide. Oh, man. Back to neutral ice, and it's Foote again. Adam Foote dumped it off, and Leetch took it ahead. Ryan Leetch walks it in, drops it on back. Up onto a shot, and that one blocked down. Check that, it was Doug Wade, I beg your pardon. Lindros bringing it back for Canada. Tried for Shanahan, but that ricocheted off him. Hull sent it back out. Foote able to loft it back in. And Richter and some calm. Dumped along, but off the glove of Coffey. So Foote goes back.
One of the few times we've seen Lindros on the ice, and he's not on the ice opposite Derian Hatcher. He's got Kevin Hatcher.
Coffey flipped one ahead. He was trying to connect with Lindros. Kevin Hatcher got in the way of that. Now Lindros again. Hit by Snyder. Kevin Hatcher wrapped it around. Back to the point. A shot by Foote. Deflected. It popped in the air. Sackick blocked by LaFontaine, and down he went. Back on is Schneider. Pursued by Shanahan and chopped at by Shanahan. Puck went back in, and Terry Fraser warns Brendan Shanahan about the use of the stick. It is Foote having it kicked away by LaFontaine. Banged back into LaFontaine. Pat LaFontaine tried to feed one in front. Another try. And denied was Coffey. Now out to Челиос. Oh, and their shot ricocheted off a fallen defenseman and went wide.
It was Adam Foote down without the helmet. It was a scary situation. I think the puck whizzed right by his head. Челиos with a chance to score like he did in the game in Philadelphia and missed the net. You can see the look on his face. He knows. He was high in the slot, had a great chance. And in that situation, all you have to do is hit the net, basically. He ended up missing. Good forecheck. A strong shift by LaFontaine. Working along the boards, making things happen. And Curtis Joseph, along with Team Canada, find a way to keep the puck out of their net.
Chris Челиos started out here in Montreal, though born in Chicago. For the last 6 years and now going on 7, he has been a Blackhawk playing right at home.
He said this team he's playing on, Team USA, is the best team he's ever played on. And going against a great team in Team Canada. He knows the challenge. He's been able to play with his defense partner G.Sutер throughout the tournament. They've been good, as usual.
Yeah. They remain out there right now. You see Rod Brind'Amour in to take the draw opposite Pat LaFontaine.
Now you see, Mike, there was Team USA dominating the end of the shift. Didn't score. Canada comes back with this Brind'Amour line again. Let's see if Brind'Amour, Fleury, and Yzerman, they turn the momentum again like they've done almost every shift this game.
Ray Scapinello to drop the puck. Taken by Stevens and along now to Fleury. Past the halfway point of regulation. Good forechecking. LaFontaine tried to dish it off to Detmarsh, who got it. Sent it back to the point. Челиos got one in front, but it was deflected away by Desjardins. Now Detmarsh tried to center, but that one taken by Scott Stevens. Stevens passes on the money for Fleury. They start a hurried 3-on-2. Detmar's hustling to get back. It's Fleury to the slot. Stepping by is Yzerman. And a poke check by Richter. And then it hit the outside of the goal. And Fleury was able to shove Richter while he was trying to make a play. And I think the penalty's coming up to Fleury.
It's an interference call. I think Fleury right there may have heard a word from Челиос, and Fleury knows he's getting a penalty. Fleury had a turnover in his own zone to Pat LaFontaine, which led to a U.S. scoring chance that they never registered a shot on goal with. And then there was a rush up ice. And it was a good rush up ice as they stayed on side. They moved the puck nicely. And then Fleury ends up going to the net. Yzerman's on the puck. Fleury goes to the net, and he bumps the goalie. Right here, he takes Richter out of the play. That's a bad penalty to take deep in the zone. When you're on a rush like that, your team is down 2-1. He did interfere with the goaltender, and there he wanted Челиос to do something to even it up. So Челиos would take a penalty. Челиos knows not to get caught, so Fleury sits for 2 minutes, and Team USA will go on the power play. Now, on this power play, Mike, Tkachuk is on the ice. Big power forward. If USA sets it up, he'll be in front of Curtis Joseph, and they've had success on their 2 goals, scoring them right off the top of the goal crease.
Fleury, you see in the box for interference at 10:32, elapsed time in the period. Keith Tkachuk, the man that John Davidson mentioned, wears white jersey number 17. Having big guys at the front of the net is something that has been done for a long time. Sometimes the more successful teams do it that way, and sometimes they have the guys that are very quick with reaction time at the front of the net. Big men who may not necessarily be physical. But regardless, that's what Team USA will go with here, and it's Leach. Right back across. Челиос puts it back in. Check that, it's Kevin Hatcher. On over for a one-time try by Hall that's chipped away by Desjardins. Right back around now, and it's Waite. Waite tried to trickle it on in. Tkachuk there with Desjardins. Now Hall digging for it. And it's fed back out.
That gives all 4 penalty killers for Canada a chance to make a change, so they're fresh, real fresh to kill this thing off.
It is Leach. It is Kevin Hatcher. Flipping one across. Taken by Waite, back to Leach again. Chopped along back. For a keep by Waite. Got it into Tkachuk, rammed into by Foot. They try to work the other way. Kevin Hatcher with a good keep. Still battling with Linden. Along for Tkachuk, who's rammed to the boards by Foot. Work back to the point, Kevin Hatcher. Not much in the way of shots for Team USA. Not much opportunity. Good aggressive penalty killing by Canada. 35 to go on their kill. Doug Waite walked it back in. Too far for Leach, but he plays it on the bounce. It is Leach again. On to the back. Kevin Hatcher, a shot passed up. Another shot ricocheted up. And still they scramble and hanging on it. Joseph, how did he ever get the second rebound?
Doug Waite is doing, he's skating in the corner, looking down at the ice going, how did I not score? Curtis Joseph here saves Canada. Up at the blue line, Tkachuk had grabbed a hold of Adam Foot. And they grabbed each other at the blue line, and Foot couldn't get back into the play. So Team USA got into the zone, started to go. And all of a sudden, there was a shot from the point by Hatcher, a rebound shot by Hull, and then Doug Waite was simply robbed. I mean, robbed at the side of the net. Here's the play where the shot comes from the blue line with Hatcher. Now watch Br.Hull get the rebound. He stays out of traffic, the puck finds him. Now watch Doug Waite to the right side. Oh, how did Curtis Joseph stop that? My goodness. Fabulous, marvelous, incredible save. And then there you see the stick of Dom Foose into the face of Tkachuk, and Tkachuk with a spearing motion with his stick, and penalty minutes to Foot and Tkachuk. Again, those two started, Mike, way back at the blue line before Team USA got into the zone. Watch the left hand of Curtis Joseph. He never gives up. There's the save on Hull. Now watch this. The puck found his glove. Oh my goodness. Right on the goal line, right up against the goalpost. That could be the save of this game right there. It's 2-1 in favor of Team USA, and they were within a whisker, actually a catching glove, of scoring to make it 3-1.
7:49 left in the second period at the time that save and keep was made. Lecler, but it is Stevens. Lobbed around, but went out of play, and so again a stoppage. 13 seconds left on the outstanding minor penalty to Fleury that has put Team Canada shorthanded.
Canada hasn't been hurt too much, I don't think, in this game on face-offs. remember in previous games throughout the tournament, Glenn Sather and his staff, they've used Mark Messier to win draws. And Mark Messier usually wins 8 or 9 out of 10 when they're big ones. However, they don't have him because of injury and sickness. Sakik took that draw and won it.
This is Leclerc. The centering pass blocked away by Stevens. Amonti checks. Fleury is out of the box. The power play ends. The pass to him, and he tipped it further. Wanted Sakik, but instead it's right back near Theo Fleury again. Stevens couldn't get it by Челиос. Tried to chop it further. That failed. Back to Stevens again. Just away from Fleury. Patrolling is G.Sutер. And around to Челиos. Челиos dumping it back. Down to the ice went Fleury. Fans complaining there should have been a Team USA penalty. Just under 7 minutes to go second.
That was G.Sutер on the play. And again, Fleury's starting to play that game where it's in-your-face hockey. He's noted for that. He's good at it. He'll try to make you take penalties.
What do you think the balance of power in this game is now, John?
You know, Mike, I honestly don't know. I know Canada's been stronger late in games as later in the tournament because of their short shifts. But they don't have Messier, they don't have Rob Blake, but they do have Curtis Joseph.
New Dodge intermission report. Pat LaFontaine will be Jim Fox's guest. A special feature on a special player, Steve Yzerman from Team Canada. Highlights and a lot more. Gretzky on the draw with Mike Modano. And Brian Leach has it. Guerin and Dom Foose nudged on back to Modano. Leach again. Shots in the period for Team USA 9, for Canada 6. Overall 23-17. Power plays, both teams are 1 for 2. Niedermeyer. Odeline and back. They're in Hatcher and Leach. Leach moving back in. Brian Leach gets help from Young. Young turnaround shot, and it went off of Modano. Is this game settling into sort of a defensive battle, John?
You sort of see that, and you see Team USA now trying to send Leach into the play or Hatcher. You're going to see Canada try to forecheck a little bit with Shanahan and Lindros, but you're right, it has settled. And we're not seeing many scoring chances off the rush that we saw earlier.
Good shot by Matthew Schneider. Jammed in with Niedermeyer and went down. Crowd reacts to that. Fontaine put it behind, and it's Curtis Joseph again. Rolled around to the turning Vincent Dom Foose. And another skirmish involving Pat LaFontaine.
And Niedermeyer. And both will go. Niedermeyer, well-conditioned athlete. He absorbed the hit by Matthew Schneider, and Schneider went flying earlier. Then LaFontaine moved over here. We talked earlier about intensity, and Canada had it in Philadelphia. I thought USA did not. In this game, both teams had it. And that's why we have a tight game. And that's why we have emotions starting to bubble a little bit. Everything's on the line here. You've got to be smart. Odeline and Schneider were talking, as you see there to the right side. See the two players as the linesmen are busy breaking up the other ones.
It is not customary to see Pat LaFontaine involved in scraps. Niedermeyer heads to the box, and LaFontaine will as well. What a hit on Schneider.
Yeah, Schneider shot the puck. It was a good save, and then Schneider, he initiated the body check, and he just pinballed right off of Scotty Niedermeyer.
Well, he's been one of the unheralded guys for Team USA in this tournament, but has he been a standout for them?
Well, you know, when you look at Team USA and all 6 of the defensemen they've been dressing, each and every one of them happen to be a number 1 or a number 2 defenseman on their club NHL teams. And that tells you that they're terrific players. Bill Housley can't even get into the lineup, and he's a terrific player. But they are players that when they play for their NHL teams, they are used to playing against the other team's best lines. So they're used to and ready for competition, certainly at this level. So we do have players in the box, Niedermeyer and LaFontaine.
Joe Sackick at the bench. Steve Yzerman on the left. Eric Lindros on the right. It'll be a goaltender and 4 apiece with 5:26 left in the second. Team USA won the first 15 minutes of the first period. Canada took care of the last 5. And in doling it out here in the second, the advantage on the scoreboard is Team USA's, and overall the game, hard to tell. High sticking for LaFontaine, or check that, Niedermeyer. L going to LaFontaine. Directly at 14:34. Thank you. Puck taken by Foot. Ended his foot on a cross now for Coffey. And then back for Fleury. Br.Hall is out for Team USA. C.Ûter and Челиос and Waite. Claude Lemieux shuffles it in, wants to get to it. Richter out of his goal to sweep it away. Waiting is Adam Foot. Foot back along, but through Lemieux. Gary C.Ûter drops back further. C.Ûter then for Челиos. Hurried and the puck given up to Foot. Fires one, but it went loose off Челиos, and here comes Hall on a breakaway. Look! Shoot! Score! Br.Hall! And it's 3-1 in favor of Team USA.
4-on-4 goal. There would have been a penalty against Team Canada if Hull did not score. You know, it looked like Team USA was in trouble. Челиos moved the puck along the boards, and all of a sudden, there was nobody there except for red jerseys. The shot was taken and blocked by Челиos. Hull skated through the neutral zone, got the puck at the blue line, breakaway, and he loves to take a goalie and spread the legs and slide the puck once the legs are spread apart. And it's exactly what Hull did. 3-1, Team USA. You'll see here, Челиos had given the puck away. There he does a nice job fighting away from the one player, and that was Coffey. Blocked it, and look at the legs open up, and there's the sliding of the puck by Hull. That's called going against the grain. Hull there, as you see, waiting. Now he sees the puck. He'll get it at the blue line. He'll get Joseph moving to Joseph's left and slide the puck back to the right. Nice play by a great goal scorer. You know, he's used to scoring top shelf, and with his big shot, there he looked calm and took care of business. It's 3-1 in favor of Br.Hall and Team USA.
Fifth of the tournament, as you noticed. John Leclerc with 10 points. Br.Hall with 9. They're the top two scorers in the competition. Челиос the primary assist.
Челиos is hurt, Mike. He's gone to the locker room. He was going to draw a penalty there as he's in the goal crease. I think Paul Coffey would have been given the penalty if there was no goal. And Челиos now has gone to the locker room. We've been told it might be a contact lens problem. He was holding his right hand and he showed the referee something. And I'm glad to hear that it was a contact lens problem. That's what we've been told. When you hold your hand like that, you wonder if he's showing somebody having a problem with a bruise or a fracture or something. And there you can see it is a contact lens. You don't want to see anybody get hurt on any team in this tournament.
In the event there are problems, are there extra sets of those always kept?
Absolutely. Training staff have them in the trunks that they carry from town to town. You've always got a couple, sometimes 3 sets.
Smolinski fires. Oh, and that went off Joseph and got the glass. Hull from Челиos at 15:24. 3-1 Team USA. Leach takes over. Hands back to Derian Hatcher. Feathered it through for Leach. He'll chase it down. Desjardins is after him. Leach turning, trying to get a pass away, but here comes Lindros, and it's a 2-on-1 with Sacking. Kevin Hatcher is back, and he broke the play up. Now Team USA rushes back. Tony Ammonti moving on, but we have a pass across 2 lines. Play is stopped in Montreal. Latter stages second period, and it's 3-1 Team USA. Big Kevin Hatcher made a sterling play defensively on that 2-on-1 a moment ago.
Brian Leach was up ice and had the puck stripped away. Derian Hatcher went to the bench. Kevin Hatcher jumped on. So 2-on-1 with Sacik and Lindros. And Kevin, with that long reach, made a nice defensive play.
Both of the Hatchers weigh 225. Kevin is 6'4". Derian is 6'5". They hail from Detroit. Big guys came through the Little Caesars program there.
There's Leach on the puck. Look at Lindros and Sacik. Man, do they read a play. 2-on-1, 2 great players. And watch Kevin Hatcher there read it. Oh, boy. I think if Eric Lindros had a chance at that play over again, it would have been shoot the puck time, especially when you're a terrific goal scorer. Sometimes you need to be a little more selfish on the ice. And with Canada trailing 3-1, you get a 2-on-1 like that with great players, get the shot on goal. At least you give yourself a chance at scoring.
13 seconds left on the coincidental minors to LaFontaine and Niedermeyer. Wayne Gretzky brings it on. Played it to the corner. Kevin Hatcher together. Wiped out. Worked back to the point. Foot. Around for Gretzky behind. Schneider moves in, jabs it back out, fresh from the box. LaFontaine, nice shuttle over to Joel Otto. Otto bringing it on, across to LaFontaine. LaFontaine jammed one to the front, but it's Niedermayer to just flex it back out for Gretzky. And ahead for Coffey. All Coffey drops and Yzerman takes. Doesn't fight his way through the defense, and Schneider cleared. Ahead comes Modano. They pick up a couple of extra players. Modano trying to shake by and does. Modano swaggers one in front, and it's knocked away by Joseph. Oh, what a move by Modano to gain the front of the net.
He beat Scotty Niedermayer, but again, on a chance like that, you try to get the puck to the goal. Team USA didn't. Modano showed some good speed and very tricky stick work.
Punched along by Bill Guerin. Guerin turning. Backhanded one that went off Joseph right at the side of the net, and he holds. And so play will be stopped.
Late in period one, Team Canada had their best 5 minutes of the game. They really rolled, and Mike Richter was good. Here in the second period, Team USA has gotten better as the periods moved along, and they have not let up. They're getting better and better and better. Better defensively and leading the puck up ice quickly to try and find a way to score. Look at one-on-one here. Modano through the legs and around the body. Scotty Niedermayer went down. Now you look, Gretzky's back, Desjardins back. And actually, Modano did get the shot. I apologize. Curtis Joseph with another save. 26-17 the shots. You can sense here, Canada doesn't have a spark in this period like they had in the first period. They don't have it yet. With Team USA, they've gotten better and better and better. This is their best period of the final series that I've seen them play.
Mike Modano in to take the draw with Eric Lindros. Controlled by Desjardins. Leclere with 2, Br.Hall with 1 for Team USA. Shanahan the lone goal for Canada. Челиос back. You talk about leadership. You were mentioning Mark Messier. Probably one of the fine leaders in all of sports, not just hockey. Wayne Gretzky, the captain of this team. 9 guys on Team Canada were captains of their team a year ago, 4 from Team USA.
Gretzky, when he goes to the Rangers, will not be captain for the first time in the NHL. It'll be Mark Messier who will keep the captain, and deservedly so, the captainship. Brian Leetch is the captain of Team USA for this tournament, and they've been, the coaching staff, very impressed with Brian's on-ice and off-ice leadership. I thought Brian Leetch had the best comments after losing game 1 of this tournament for the offside goal. He said, we weren't good enough to beat Canada tonight. Offside or no offside, we just didn't play well.
We're good enough to be ahead right now. 3-1, second period, 2:10 to go. Ammonti striding after that one. Desjardins moving in as well. Red number 37 floats it along for Scott Stevens. Tried to hack it further, kept alive for a moment by Smolинski, but then guided on, and Theo Fleury skates it down. Moving on in, Fleury fires, and a save made by Richter. Turned aside by Derian Hatcher, and then he and Fleury went down.
Great back check by John Leclere.
This is Ammonti, dropping it to Leach. Shovels it on over. Leclere was going for the hat trick and fired it wide.
How about that? 4 passes and a good finish. But it started with Leclere on the defensive zone, Mike, back checking with Leach caught up ice. A brilliant play defensively. Then with his speed for a big man, he's up at the other end of the ice, almost scoring.
Tom Foose rolls it on, bringing it on his own line. Jammed on back to Suter, then across for Chris Chelios. Chelios' pass sailed by Hall. Well, that's the thing that's deceptive, is these guys are 6'3", 6'4", and they've got speed as well. Jammed on further. It is Gary Suter. Back on the turning stick of Doug Waite, and then safely to Chelios. Nearing the last minute of play. Scott Young moving in. Shoots one that's saved by Joseph. Almost the 4th goal for Team USA, and it is iced by Canada.
Speed, speed, speed. Team USA speed is getting better and better and better at both ends of the ice. As the shots are now 27-18 in favor of Team USA. Scott Young getting the last shot. Again, the speed. Look at him dart through. On the forehand, and Curtis Joseph with another splendid save and help from his teammates so he wouldn't get a rebound. Theo Fleury moves up. He takes the shot. On the other side of the ice, Leclere had come all the way back. You just see his skates behind the goal net. He took his man out of the play. There he is. So Fleury couldn't pass the puck. He had to shoot it. Now the goalie Richter reads this, that the other man's covered, so he can move right out at Fleury, play the angle well. That's good team defense.
Joel Otto is spun. Puck back on the boards and went off Otto's toss. Back for Brian Leach. Tkachuk bringing it on, handing it on to Otto. Otto watched by Foot. Centered one across the net mouth wide. Shanahan there, turns it out. If they hurry, a 2-on-1. Joe Sacking moving in with Lindros. Hustling back is Denmarsh, and the shot came on goal. Richter with the save, and then he's tripped up. Puck loose, and he's still reaching for it. Richter able to cover and throw it back to neutral ice. Oh, my.
And same two players at the 2-on-1, Lindros and Sacking. This time there was no pass, there was a shot, and Richter was there. Lindros looks a little shaken up, Mike.
To the final 3 seconds of the period.
Tkachuk just skated to Lindros and punched him right in the back of the head. So this thing really getting tough. Lindros now and Tkachuk, they have looked at each other. Paul Holmgren just play a disciplined game. Stay out of the penalty box, third man high. And when you get over center ice, if there's no play, put the puck deep all the time. Don't turn it over.
One of your keys, John, was to get the feet moving for Team USA. Have you noticed that?
I think the second period they played here was just a speed period by them, and they showed in that period that they had better speed than Canada. And that's one reason why they had the scoring chances they had. One reason why they've had 27 shots on goal through 2 periods.
Chris Челиос rolled it along. Desjardins is there, shoots one, and it sailed wide. Now Scott Stevens bounced one. Челиos knocked it away. Stevens with the keep. In front again. It's kicked out to Linden. Side of the net. Gretzky, and he had trouble controlling. Now centers just away from Domfou. G.Sutер wraps it around. John Leclere helps it further, and Desjardins drops back.
And you know, with Team Canada not having Messier, the team speed, the level drops dramatically not having Messier in the lineup. He backs people up all the time.
Richter controls with the stick. Lindros moves in and takes it with his own. Chased off by Young. Shanahan put it off the outside of the goal. Leach able to control, but quickly it's given away to Sacking, then back to Foot. Adam Foot stepped by one. Foot moving in deeper. On the cycle to Sacking and a shot. Fought off by Richter. Loose puck around the outside of the goal, and is an attempted stuff in by Shanahan that had to be sent aside by Richter and cleared back down.
2 terrific shifts by Team Canada. The Gretzky line and then the Sacking line. Now Canada makes another change. The third line on the ice in a minute and a half. So they want to up-tempo and forecheck, and you can see their game plan.
Bill Guerin takes it on the turn. Flies it too far for Tkachuk. It is Joseph tapping along. And Joseph took a swat from Guerin, apparently.
I think that was from Tkachuk, I think, Mike, and it was off the right arm. And Joseph was stunned by it for a moment, but appears to be okay.
Puck thrown wide. Angled back out by Guerin. Looked like he was shaking it there for a minute, didn't it?
Yeah, he sure did, but he seems to be okay.
Played ahead for Brindamore across 2 lines, and so play stopped once again.
It was a good forecheck by Team USA, but Curtis Joseph, the goaltender, who chases all the loose pucks down all the time, moved the puck and seemed to get chopped. We've got Jim Fox downstairs. Jim?
Thanks, JD. I just want to keep going on that tempo. I talked to Keith Allain, assistant coach with Team USA. He said game 1 was fast. He says the tempo here is exactly where Team USA wants it. You've been talking about the pursuit of the puck. Not only to create chances on the rush, but the forced turnovers by Team Canada. Team USA is quick, they're on the puck, and they're making Canada make mistakes.
But here, early in the third period, Canada's had the better start. The puck was sitting on the goal line. Richter almost knocked it in. And we'll see if Canada can keep it going. They've changed their lines up here now. They've got Fleury with Lemieux and Graves. Lemieux and Graves have not had a lot of ice time. So Graves moved back to the wing. And Fleury getting a shot at center ice. So Canada changing their lines.
Moving in is Claude Lemieux. A shot hits the post. Over the line a shot, and that one flagged down. Brought out by Adam Denmarsh again. Denmarsh moving on Niedermeyer. Took some lumber. Denmarsh controlling, though. Tried to shuttle it along, but Niedermeyer got in the way and sent it back out to Челиос. 3-1, Team USA ahead. If they continue and win, it will force a deciding and last game in the World Cup tournament here in Montreal Saturday night at 8. Pacific time 5. Check your local listings if it happens. It is Leclere, and a little tap by Smolinski, brought on by Amonti, then to Smolинski. His shot is plucked away by Joseph. Smolинski trying to dig it out. It came back over. Amonti. Smolинski with Leclere near the front. Got it close quarters to John Leclere. His pass was behind Amonti and back down. The You'd mentioned one of the keys for Canada was 40-second shifts. They are doing that. They're getting the shift changed quickly.
They need the tempo. They need to get themselves involved. They need to find some forecheck and to create turnovers. Create turnovers by forcing the other players to make a play too quick. And there you see, Hatcher does a nice job. The puck is up the boards and out of the zone.
Another change by Team USA. Meanwhile, it's laid on by Stevens to Domfus and back in. Richter able to play it along now for Kevin Hatcher. Bumped by Lindros. Got it to Schneider. Wrapped on around further. Kicked back over for a play out by Doug Waite. A 2-goal lead for Team USA. A luxury that they have here in the third period. 4 minutes have been played. Moving ahead is Joe Sacking. Sacking getting by. Turned one in front that went off the skates of Br.Hall. Team USA bringing it back, and Scott Young is on. Young steaming it back in, and it's sailed by Joseph. Kevin Hatcher shoots one, and Joseph decides to hang on. 15:44 to go in the third. 29 shots for Team USA and 20 for Canada. 3-1 the Americans.
I'm Jim.
When your team has a big boy, you try to play the other team's big boy, and look at these guys. Lindros trying to find space in front of the goal crease, and Hatcher, Darian that is, does a nice job keeping Lindros away from the puck. Canada's changed their lines a little bit. 2 of their lines are intact. We have not seen Yzerman, Primo, and Brindamore here in the third period. They put one new line together. That was Graves, Fleury, and Lemieux.
Have Lindros out there now as Tkachuk moves in and fired a shot wide. Rebound is just chipped away to the corner by Foot. Regathered by Sacik, rolled around to Foot again. Dumped back off for Shanahan. Turned over to Team USA in neutral ice. How has Canada's neutral ice play been tonight?
I think that what they've tried to do is create turnovers with Team USA, and Team USA talked about it a lot. If you don't have a play, just dump the puck like Челиос just did. Canada was very strong in Game 1, but there's no doubt here in Game 2, the U.S. speed has made a difference. There's a penalty there as Mодano held up Lindros. Lindros almost drew a penalty on his last shift as he was hauled down. That was Doug Waite who was involved that time. This time, what Modano wants to do is hold up Lindros because Lindros is going to go in and punish the defenseman. And the holdup was a reach. When Modano's speed, he shouldn't reach like that. He should use his speed to catch Lindros. He didn't, so Modano sits. And folks, we have a big 2 minutes ahead for both clubs right now. 14:57 to go. 3-1 Team USA. And Canada needed something. This could be it for them.
The house has been quiet until now in the third period. But the Modano minor at 5:03 leaves Lindros out on the ice to be joined by Shanahan and Gretzky and Coffey and Sacking.
Mike, even if Canada does not score on this power play, they may develop flow. They may develop some offensive run at Mike Richter. You always look when you penalty kill to 1 or 2 great saves by your goaltender. So this is Mike Richter's turn. Here we go. Otto for the big face-off against Lindros.
Leach ties up with Gretzky. Otto without a stick went after Coffey. Sacking in deep. Gretzky. Oh, he tried for Lindros. It's tipped away. Sacking, a shot went off a leg. Along the boards, the battle continues. It is Darian Hatcher, and it's sent back now to Coffey. Flew one off the glass. Leach stepping to that one. Leach cleared off the shank stick of Sacik to neutral ice.
And it was Leach who broke up the Gretzky pass back to Lindros with a wonderful read.
Off of Shanahan's skates. Deadmarsh bringing it back for Team USA. Watched by Sacik. Deadmarsh a drive, and that one held by Joseph. 36 gone on the penalty kill to Team USA, and they get a chance out of it.
Lindros with his strength. He went head-to-head with Otto on the face-off, and the stick of Otto snapped right off, so Team USA was in trouble. But they recovered, and Deadmarsh, who's been marvelous with his speed wide, especially killing penalties there, did the right thing. He made sure he hit the net. He did not try to make a pass that was too fancy, and the kid from Trail, British Columbia, playing for Team USA because his mom is American, makes the play. It's tough for him, too, coming from Trail, British Columbia in the Rocky Mountains. His family, of course, pulling for Team USA. His friends, Team Canada. It's a tough situation.
Is indeed. Now we have 2 of the smaller men on a face-off, contrasted to the one before, LaFontaine and Fleury. Fleury able to win to Niedermeyer, and then on to Paul Coffey. 14-15 to go in the third. 1 minute, 15 seconds to go on Team Canada's power play. Fleury angled one, trying to fool Richter, and it went wide. Dom Foose then back on for Fleury to the point to Coffey, quickly across to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer sets up Paul Coffey again, looks and gives to Fleury. Theo Fleury looking, dealt it in deep. Iserman, Fleury, Coffey, shot one, and the tip by Iserman went wide. The deflection setup failed for Team Canada. Iserman trying to work to Dom Foose. The battle continues, and it's taken by Suter. Suter chopped that, and the puck fed along. Good keep by Paul Coffey. Coffey back across. Big drive by Niedermeyer, flown wide. Dom Foose tried to hook it in front, and it went off Suter. Fed around by Iserman, back to the point. Just over 30 seconds left, power play. Coffey across. Shot by Niedermeyer, held by Richter, and play again is stopped.
And Suter rakes down Vincent Dom Foose. The first shot on goal that's registered by Team Canada on their power play. That's one shot each. Deadmarsh on the penalty kill, and now the shot on Mike Richter, and he makes the save. Tricky play, you're right, by Theo Fleury. He moved up ice, was going to shoot the puck into the zone, instead put it on goal. Here's the shot by Niedermeyer. He was off balance. The puck was too far ahead. And there you see the rake job by Gary Suter. No penalty call there. Modano has 29 seconds to go. Here's that fake play. The goalie wants to leave the net and take the puck along the boards. Instead, Richter alertly stayed in, and Fleury tried to fool him. That was a smart little play by Theo Fleury. If it works, certainly would have given his team a big boost.
That's the one, I guess Raymond Bourque was sort of the author of that, wasn't he? Defenseman for Boston.
You try to, as a goalie, anticipate the shoot-in, so you leave your net early to stop the puck along the glass or boards. And sometimes the shooter, as we saw there, will fake and put the puck on goal instead.
20 seconds left on Canada's power play. 13-13 to go in the third. 3-1 Team USA. Gretzky flies it in, and Coffey is there to get it. Paul Coffey banks it around to Gretzky, then back to Lindros. Lindros sent it in front, right in on goal, and turned aside by Richter. It was Shanahan on the deflection.
Very similar deflection to the goal by Leclere. Nice save by Richter. Teams at even strength.
Lindros pivoting, hands back to Coffey. It's Leclere with 2 goals and Hall with 1 for Team USA. Shanahan the lone goal for Canada. A little help from Scott Stevens in front of his goalkeeper. The pass is too far for Gretzky and down. An icing touch-up coming from Matthew Schneider. Clock stopped. 12:36 to go in the third, and it's still Team USA 3, Canada 1. It's Ford's. Theo Fleury on the left. His point total on the right. Knotted with Coffey and Shanahan. Includes tonight's play. Gretzky and Messier with 5. Messier not in the lineup tonight. Angled back in. Schneider there to get it. Matthew Schneider forced behind. Puck centered out in front, and a scramble for it there, but emerging is Scott Young. Brought back up by Hull. Br.Hall trying to outfight Stevens. Gets it back deep for Joseph to set. Desjardins to take.
Brindamore should be fresh for Team Canada. Getting a center ice roll here now. And some big guys on the ice for Team Canada.
Lemieux with a deceptive shot that he has on that right wing. But it was answered by Richter. A shot by Stevens goes wide. Adam Graves the first one there. Graves into the corner with Schneider. Suicide jostle. Scott Young off the puck and down to the ice.
This is a shift where Canada wants to control the boards with their sides.
Stevens a shot, and it went wide. Moving for it, Desjardins. Watched by Hull. Then one around that came to Stevens again. Rod Brindamore rolled it back deeper, but it's Schneider to take it there. Sailed it the other way. A tough one for Desjardins, and it goes down.
Canada did control the boards, but they never got any offense at all out of the play. Brindamore, Lemieux, and Graves, 3 big power forwards. And USA now ices the puck.
John, you've talked about tempo all night long. How do you see it through the first 8 minutes or so?
I think it's slowed a little bit here in the third period. But Team USA does not want to get ragged. Don't want to play that real fast skating game. There's Claude Lemieux meeting up with Челиос as they were both involved in a line change. It's something how Claude Lemieux always ends up in the middle of something, somehow. This was the great save by Richter on Shanahan. Look at that deflection. Look at the right foot of Richter. Great reaction on a smart passing shot from Lindros. Now the fans here in Montreal really trying to get behind Team Canada.
Urged on by the center ice scoreboard. They respond. Puck back to the point. Niedermeyer shoots one. Save Richter, rebound in front. An attempt by Primo, it's blocked down. Still loose at the side of the net. Yzerman to play. Tried to center and it popped back over. Line at the half board. Threw one in front. Score! And it's immediately wiped off. I thought it went in, but it must have glanced off the post.
It did to the left side of Richter. Again, Canada goes with fresh people. Primo's out there. He hasn't had a shift in the third, and all of a sudden he was all over the top of the goal crease. There was a deflection. Richter was close to it, but I believe it went off the goalpost and stayed out. In fact, when it hit the goalpost, it came out behind Mike Richter the other way. That's how close it was. Canada going with some fresh bodies as much as possible. And they're going with some big bodies, and they're trying and trying and trying to power their way past Mike Richter. Man, was that close. Team USA slowing it down here, making another change. I think Canada's had the tempo here in the third. They've had the forecheck, and they've tried to win loose puck battles in Team USA zone. And Mike Richter has had to post it at least twice now, Mike, in the third period here. Once by Claude Lemieux, and then on the last deflection.
Well, I thought, John, there is a camera position at the back of the net, and I mistook it for the puck.
That's what
bounced around down there, and I do apologize.
Yeah, right off the stick blade of somebody, and in behind Mike Richter and out the other side. Wow. Close, close, close.
To the point, coffee. Eye exam. Ahead with this, now comes Lecler. He's got Amonti breaking. The little pass could not reach him. And it's coffee back. Big Keith Primo. Primo bumped from behind by Leach, and a shot in on goal, and a stick save made by Richter. From the glass, it's back out.
Primo with an impact shift. This may be enough for him to earn another shift.
Good. And coffee. And Love. 10.5 to go. Third period. Team USA ahead by 2. Mike Modano fires. It went off Guerin. Lindros hands it across. Shanahan and then Joe Sacking. Big Eric Lindros could not get it through. Boy, just like a wall of Team USA players. Guerin threw one ahead for Tkachuk. Tkachuk defended nicely on the play by Desjardins. Chopped along by Modano, but taken by Joe Sacking.
Well, Canada's support, both defensemen, and then Sakic's support from their teammates to get the puck.
It is Stevens and in on goal, and Richter directed it away. Modano scales it back off. Tkachuk checked off by Desjardins. Eric Desjardins turns it along to Shanahan. Shanahan forcing it through to Lindros. Centering pass went off a stick and bounced back down to Stevens. Shoots one that ricocheted off of Челиос. Driven along by Mike Modano. Puck went off Desjardins. Fought with Hall, and it's tapped along further. Follow up by Team USA. Forces Canada back so that the Americans can make a change. Pivoting is Desjardins with 9:25 to go in the third. Team USA ahead of Canada 3-1. Here comes Linden with a shot that is saved and held by Richter.
Well, it's a Richter show along with a couple of goalposts. Canada has dominated the 10 minutes here in the third period. They can't score. Richter on that play stayed out above the goal crease. He knew there was nobody else open, so there would be no pass to the side. Instead, there was a shot through a screen, and it was eaten up by Mike Richter once again. Look at Primo. The big boy didn't dress in game one. He was put in place of Mark Messier because of illness to Messier for this one. And he had a strong third period shift. And with that fresh body coming on the ice and doing something, he may get himself another shift or two. Now, Mike, again, the big power line that was put together here. Brind'Amour, Graves, and Lemieux, they're back together to try and forecheck and work the boards in Team USA zone.
Niedermeyer and Odeline the defense. It comes back to Niedermeyer. Shovels one and getting a piece of it. Richter and another attempt. Richter saw it go off him and he swept it away. Edmarsh bringing it back. Boy, Mike Richter has been strong for Team USA. Bouncing puck is scooped up and thrown by Curtis Joseph to Niedermeyer. 30 shots Team USA, 29 for Canada, 3-1 the United States ahead with 8:55 to go in the third. Kevin Hatcher to the corner from Graves, thrown by Brind'Amour, but the prayer was blocked. On back now, Niedermeyer hands it along to Brind'Amour again, laying it along for Claude Lemieux. Lemieux for Brind'Amour. Brind'Amour a shot, and the riser got the glass. The line had it knocked away. Matthew Snyder hit by Graves. Puck centered out in front. Quick shot was answered by Richter from over the line. It is Brind'Amour again looking for Graves. Brind'Amour to the point. Niedermeyer shoots one. Save made by Richter.
Great shift by Canada, but they can't beat Richter. Forecheck, bang, go to the net. It's happening, but they can't beat Richter.
8 minutes to go, third period. Dom Foos back, Odeline kicks on to Trevor Linden, who has to drop further. Pass just away from the reach of Smolински. Leach moving back for Team USA. Hooks one along that Ammonti could control over to John Leclerc. Leclerc lays it ahead for Smolинski. Ryan Smolинski got it on to Leclerc. Watched by Adam Foote. Leclerc turned one, and Ammonti tried to pull a one-timer that was tough. Laid along for Dom Foos, but off him. Ammonti up with it again. Fidgetson sends one off the stick of Foote to the corner.
The forwards for Team USA need to get it together here. They need to start taking pressure off their own defense. The U.S. defense has been worked hard here in the third period.
Dom Foos' shot knocked down by Kevin Hatcher. Puck to neutral ice, controlled by Ammonti. Wedged by Linden. Goes down to the ice, but is able to shake it as far as Coffey. All Coffey guides it on to Dom Foos, trying to step in, cannot. Kicked along by Dom Foos, but a tangle of players there, and a 2-on-1 for Team USA. Tkachuk in with Guerin, back at Desjardins. They set it up to Tkachuk, and a shot saved by Joseph. Rolls back along again, and it's Linden putting it back out. Fresh from the bench, it's Челиос. The teams pour over the boards in the line change. Bill Guerin moving back. Knocked away from him, but then played along for the corner. Intercepted by Stevens, and he's able to nudge it out to center ice with 6:38 to go. Tkachuk tosses it along. His team up by 2. Mordano trying to get by Desjardins. That one scooped up by Joseph as it bounced right in front of the net. And so play is stopped with 6.5 left. And the U.S. by 2.
We have it.
As a goalie, you need to read plays. Look at Curtis Joseph move right back and take away the angle. As Team USA at a 3-on-1. The best save Joseph has made here in the third. And watch Richter again. Through traffic. Boots it away. Kevin Hatcher takes care of Adam Graves in front. Shots are 12-5 in favor of Canada here in the third period. Canada has had 12, as I mentioned. USA's had the last 2, so they were 12-3 at one time. Dominant. But Mike Richter and his team have been able to avoid giving one up here in the third period.
Desjardins off the stick of Stevens, who recovered, but only to Челиос. Stevens again. Desjardins. It is Hall, Ammonti, and Scott Young up front for Team USA. Г.Сутер and Челиos in back. Sackick tucked the pass to Shanahan, but it was offside. And again, play is stopped.
You know, Mike, in these situations, you wonder what happens in a locker room between periods. Team USA dominated the second period. A comfortable 3-1 lead. But what happened in the Team Canada locker room? They've shown up. They've been much more aggressive. They're forechecking. They're banging. They're hitting. Yet they haven't scored. But what a difference they've shown here in the third period. Amazing.
We talk about turnarounds that occur in the 18 minutes of the intermission, and you can't have not only high-quality players, but high-quality coaches like we have at these benches, and not have them work a little with their motivational matches, as well as the X's and O's.
That's right. Yeah, motivation now is what's important. Doug Waite and Lindros show what this game's about. Bumping, grinding. You have to earn space on the ice.
Stevens will go back. As he takes it, the clock is down to 6 minutes. No change for Team USA. Rod Brind'Amour, who has been very effective for Canada, especially here in the third, sees a pass go for Lemieux's shot in on Richter. Darian Hatcher lobbed it along. Hull tipped it. Desjardins got help.
Oh, Doug Waite just took a bad penalty. Man, he went right into Desjardins, took him out nicely, and then punched him in the mouth. So Team USA with a 3-1 lead, a very undisciplined play, and Desjardins dazed on the play. The Brind'Amour-Graves-Lemieux line on the ice, and they've had good shifts all the way through. They work the buckets along the boards. You can see Desjardins still dazed. He's right in front of the USA bench, and he's not being helped by anybody. And I think he's groggy. He took a left jab or left hook right to the kisser. Desjardins on the puck. Doug Waite moves in, takes him out nicely. But then he followed through with a left punch right to the kisser. I mean, to me, in a situation like that, you see the punch, very undisciplined. You see the legs buckle as you see Desjardins going. That was a Mike Tyson left. And Desjardins still down now as the training staff helping out. I mean, he's down. But to me, a 3-1 lead. And Canada now has a power play to try and make it 3-2. Doug Waite is a good player, But he knows better, and he took a bad penalty.
So by invitation, Canada back in it on the roughing minor to wait at 14:23. The power play for Canada will get its 4th crack of the night. It's 1 for the prior 3.
Remember, we showed the ISO of Wade and Lindros on the same shift during the previous play, and Wade had been knocked down a couple of times and got up and went right back at Lindros. The frustration obviously set in, and Desjardins still dazed. Desjardins, one of the power play defensemen for Canada. He won't be ready. So they put Lindros back there with Coffey, Gretzky, Sackick, and Shanahan up front.
It'll be Joel Otto to take the draw. Deadmarsh is out there, as well as Chelios and Г.Сутер for Team USA. Adam Graves looking on from Team Canada's bench. You just saw him. Sackick and Otto for this faceoff. Chelios put it into Coffey. It's over to Sackick. Sackick moving in. A shot is stopped by Leclere, and he covered.
Oh boy, good play by Coffey, keeping the puck in the zone. Great play as Chelios tried to put it out. And then Sackick was thinking pass. He moved in, and Richter didn't bite. Richter didn't bite at all. And you'll see a great save. Coffey keeps it in, and he draws 2 players to him, and there's room. Sackick and the goalie, one-on-one. Oh, baby, what a play. Sackick, head fakes, shoulder fakes, tried to get Richter to go for it, and Richter stayed with it with his right arm.
Off the tie-up, it's back to Lindros, working it back along for Shanahan. Lindros and Shanahan playing some catch. Shanahan moves in and fires. That's blocked down. Able to hook it on back to Lindros. The block was by Г.Сутер. Puck laid in and tapped on to Shanahan. Then back to Lindros again. Shoots one.
Joe Sackick in front on the deflection. A power play goal. There's 5:12 to go in the 3rd period. We're 3-2. And Canada takes advantage of an undisciplined penalty against Team USA. Canada's had a strong 3rd period, and they are going absolutely crazy here in Montreal and probably across the country. 5:12 to go. Lindros sees bodies in front, just a little wrist shot, and there's Joe Sackick waving at the puck, and it beats Mike Richter underneath his catching glove. Sackick with good hands. Gretzky's there too. There's the shot. Sackick now glides in, and it's a little deflection, and man, do we have a game going now.
Full strength hockey. 2 for 4 tonight on the power play, Canada. Back in it. Sackick from Lindros. That's the only assist.
Team USA, they do have a timeout. Canada does too. And the flow could be very interesting right now. The puck now in the bench of Team Canada, so there's a delay here. Another look at the goal scored. Good low shot, not a hard one. And a goalie will tell you, wrist shots from the blue line are hard to stop because of deflection. So easier to deflect. Sackick did it nicely, just like John Leclere did in the 2nd period. Well, here we go. They're still going crazy here in Montreal.
As an athlete in bedlam situations, you need to remain calm. But from up here, you wonder how it can be. How can you be calm?
Well, your leaders need to be calm. Your leaders need to be leaders. Your coaches need to be coaches in these situations.
Adam Foote pursued by Modano. Pass ahead to Shanahan. Spirits one and a bouncer blocked by Richter. Lindros with it there. Tied up by Darian Hatcher. Lindros still battling off the back of the goal. It's Coffey, but it's poked away by Richter. Good challenge by Richter, and the puck came back up near Tkachuk, who taps to neutral. Coffey has it. Across for Adam Foote, 4.5 to go. Team USA by 1. The shot's 34-33 Canada. Darian Hatcher lobbed it back in.
Now Desjardins on the ice. He was dazed. See if he's all right. There he makes a pretty good pass.
Leclere hurried it wide off the steal. Coffey dumps it out. Fleury able to play it. It's not with a high stick. Brind'Amour rammed by Amonti. Fleury able to curl in. Drops it over to Yzerman, who shot one wide. Now around near Desjardins, but taken by Brind'Amour. But Г.Сутер. Gary Г.Сутер for Team USA. Spiked right back to him. Help from Челиос. Челиos sailed it along off the neutral glass. It's Stevens connecting with Desjardins. Desjardins' pass flew back to Г.Сутер. 3:45 to go.
Team USA sending one man in only. Only one man in. Everybody else back at between the blue lines.
Domfus put it in. Richter stopped it there and gloved it down for Leach. A tangle behind as Linden was on him. The puck back to Stevens. Shot one that's deflected wide by Linden. Leach gets it into the glove of Scott Young. They start a 3-on-2 back out. Young turning with it. Guides it to the corner. Br.Hall cruising in there, but it's Stevens to play. Bumped by Young on Stevens, but Stevens recovered to get it along. Linden hands on and breaking out with it is Niedermeyer. Shoveling one back into the pads of Mike Richter, and he covers.
That's a smart play by Niedermeyer. If he didn't put it on goal, it would have been icing. He couldn't reach center ice. He was going to be checked, so he put it on goal. Richter freezes it. Now there's a face-off in Team USA's zone. Shots thus far in the third period. Canada 17, USA 6. Scoring chances 11-1 in favor of Team Canada is how we have charted it. Mike Richter's been spectacular. There's 3:04 to go. It's 3-2 Team USA.
When you hear there's going to be a World Cup in August and September, you dream about matchups and you dream about the quality of game. Tonight and in Game 1, the dream realized. And there might be another one on Saturday if the score doesn't change. Or at least the leading team doesn't change. Coffee bumped by Guerin. Puck fed along Shanahan. Hooked it back in. 2 minutes, 50 seconds to go. Hustling back is Leach. Got there for the icing touch-up, and Lindros looked shaken.
He banged in heavily with a great effort. Appears to be okay. He went head-to-head with Otto. Lindros, for a big man, has extremely quick hands. And he went head-to-head with Otto on the face-off. Here's the icing play. Leach knows he might get crunched. And Lindros left his feet to try and get to the puck first, which is putting your body at risk with the end boards. And here in this building, the end boards of glass don't move. In a lot of the U.S. arenas, they bend and they give you a break when you run into them. Not here. This is like cement. They've got that seamless glass, true glass, which is helpful for the goaltenders. And now we have a face-off with 2:48 to go in Team Canada's zone.
Shanahan was given an assist in addition to Lindros on the goal by Sacking that got Team Canada back to within one. That was at 14:48. Heath Primo on the draw with Joel Otto of Team USA. 2:48 left. Won by Otto. Back to Челиос. Челиos flipped one that got the glass. First one there is Bill Guerin. Dropped it along for Keith Tkachuk. Coffee was on him, so it's Niedermeyer for Team Canada. And the U.S. will have to go back down.
The icing again. Otto won the draw from Primo, and Челиos got the puck. And people may say, why didn't he shoot on goal? The point is, with a lead late like this, make sure with your shot that you don't hit a player coming out towards you. And that's what happened on one of the USA goals when Челиos blocked a shot from the blue line. The puck went to Br.Hall, and he scored on the breakaway. So Челиos made a smart play, a real smart play. Watch him. Otto wins the draw. Watch Челиos wait and delay here. Missed the body, put it in wide, which is exactly what he did. That's how you play defense smartly when you're in the offensive zone, a one-goal lead.
84 Olympian, played at Rendezvous in 89, 91 Canada Cup, and he says this is the best chance any U.S. team that he's been on has ever had to win. It'll go to a third game if they can win this one tonight. It's put back into Leach, spun right back once more. The setup by Joseph, the take by Desjardins. 2 minutes, 17 seconds to go in the third. Joe Sacking brings it on, dumps it to the Darian Hatcher corner. Shanahan on him, takes him to the wall. Leach able to pitch it off the glass. Desjardins tried to control, could not. A 2-on-2, Canada with enough help back. A weak cross, and Stevens has it. And then Stevens lost. Bill Guerin, and then Stevens, and then Desjardins. Up for grabs in the neutral ice. Pitched along, but into Eric Lindros. Lindros trying to step by Челиos, could not. Oh, the puck popped off and is grabbed by Richter.
And Челиos pulls Lindros down. Lindros' stick went into Mike Richter's pads hard. Earlier in the shift, Smolинski did not get the puck deep for Team USA, and it almost cost them as the U.S. club was trying to change their lines. Here, Kerry Fraser is trying to calm everybody down to see if there's penalties. It could be Lindros and Челиos if he decides to hand penalties out. Lindros with Otto now, teammates during the regular season with Philadelphia. The two defensemen for Team Canada out above the circle. They don't want to go in deep, otherwise the faceoff would move out of the zone. So that's some discipline by their club. Fraser, I'm sorry, Mike, is going to the penalty box.
If you have Lindros and Челиос off with 1:48 to go, those are two guys that would play for their teams a lot.
There's Челиos nose to nose, and look at Lindros keep going, not quit on the play. In fact, got the shot on goal. There's the stick into the pads of Richter. So here comes Челиos, here comes Otto, and we have 1:48 to go. Lindros and Челиos in the penalty box. It's a pretty good trade-off, I think, for both clubs. Somebody's throwing a pair of glasses on the ice. I think the Canadian fans here upset that Lindros is in the box. One of their strong power forwards. We see 2 minutes up on the board for both Челиos and Lindros. How come those guys look so calm, the coaches?
I don't know how they can.
Now the fans starting to get a little bit foolish here, throwing garbage on the ice. That's foolish. Great hockey town, good bunch of people, but when they start throwing stuff on the ice like this, it's very distasteful.
Well, the slash on the goalie pad got the minor to Lindros, roughing to Челиos with 1:48 to go. So they're without those guys for the rest of regulation time.
It really gives Glenn Sather, without taking a timeout, an opportunity to talk to his coaches and his players, know who they want on the ice if they change on the flies. 1:48 to go. Watch the stick of Lindros. I mean, he's gone to the net. He's trying to make things happen, and bang! That started the whole thing. That's why Челиos moved over to Lindros, so they get 2 minutes apiece.
So this is a timeout swiped because of the debris on the ice. With 1:48 to go, about how many shifts do you think you have for Team Canada?
I would think 2, unless if they keep the puck in Team USA's zone, it might only be 1, because they can go that long with their forecheck and try to make things happen. But with 1:48, their best players are getting a great chance to rest right now. For Team USA, Челиos had been playing with Г.Сутер. So if Г.Сутер goes on the ice, it won't be with his regular partner. Д.Хэтчер and Leach have been really good. I mean, really good. They may get the call here with so little time to go. But both teams talk strategy. Team USA actually not too much coach-player talk. Team USA with the lead. Team Canada, because these two guys are talking about how lovely the game's been. What are they going to do in the next few days? Chris thought about an answer, gave it back to Lindy. Uh-oh.
Standing
Chris
now.
is standing up now. Uh-oh. Two very, very distinguished leaders. Two very proud players who play a hard game. Emotions. You have to have emotion to play this game.
Boy, the pain threshold has to be pretty high, too. How many players have we seen dazed slightly but have not missed shifts?
Desjardins came right back. Coffey holding court with Sacik and Fleury, talking about what happens if they win the draw. Otto has been taking a lot of the Team USA draws. He'll be out there again. It is Leach and Hatcher, Д.Хэтчер. And that guy stayed up all night, didn't he?
If his team can score and then win, he'll probably stay up all night tonight. If they can't, he might not sleep that well.
Lindros has been a key face-off man for Team Canada. He'll be missed in that role, even in the offensive zone. Here we go.
Team Canada with the option of pulling its goalie late to try and stuff in one more if they can't do it with both teams even but not full. A goalie and 4 apiece. Team USA ahead 3-2. Fleury on the draw with Otto.
Fleury wants to cheat a little bit, but you can't have your skate blades touch those red lines. A new rule. Otto's got the longer reach. It makes you wonder. Coffey and Tkachuk on the near side. Canada needs Coffey to stay on the ice because of his offensive abilities.
See, the fans aren't quite as calm as these players are right now. But here's the draw. From a tangle and out of a scrum. Otto had it pressed for a moment, then it ricocheted on back. Swung at by Otto, second effort, and he got it back out. Keith Tkachuk moves ahead, rolls one for Otto. Fleury moving in on him, and they cancel. So now Niedermayer with with 90 seconds to go. Knocked away by Tkachuk, but brought on by Niedermayer again. At the hash marks at the other end is Curtis Joseph. Leach up with it. The net is empty. Joseph is at the bench, and fresh from the bench, Gretzky to take it the extra man. Worked on for Niedermayer. Corralled by Fleury. He has to wait. Fleury now waits and tries to pass one ahead. Can't do it. Keith Tkachuk ahead. The net empty. He scores! 4-2. Team USA with 1:08 to go.
Mike, in 1991, these two teams met for the championship of the Canada Cup. Team Canada won 2 straight. Here we have Team USA winning for the first time a game at this level against Canada, and we will have a game here, I would think, with 1:08 to go on Saturday night in Montreal. Canada tried to get the puck into the zone. Team USA never folded a bit. They played smart. Tkachuk got the puck and calmly put it into the net. The puck was on the near boards. Fleury tried to move it, and there was Derian Hatcher. He's had a wonderful World Cup. He made the play at the blue line to head the puck up ice. And Team USA, they can't relax yet, but they certainly have themselves in a good position. 4-2 with 1:08 to go.
Tkachuk is 5th of the tournament. Should this stay Team USA's game, 1:08 to go, and some of the brightest stars in the NHL representing Canada trying to at least get 1 and 2 to force overtime. But should the Team USA win, Saturday night, 8 o'clock, 5 Pacific time, check your local listings for the deciding and last game of this wonderful tournament. Niedermayer back over to Coffey. Knocked down by Scott Young, but taken by Yzerman. Yzerman rushing back again at the hash marks. It's Joseph. Now he strides toward the bench as it's laid ahead of Brind'Amour. To the corner they go. Extra man comes out. This time it's Theo Fleury as you see the battle in the corner. Suter wrapped it around. Fleury waiting for it there. 40 to go. Back over to Paul Coffey. Coffey fanned on one try. Had the second knife down by Scott Young. Moving ahead is Smolinski. Smolinski trying to get free. Backhands one that's whipped wide. It looks even more like a Team USA night now as Brind'Amour brings it ahead with 25 to go. Back on for Theo Fleury again. Fleury had it chipped away. Scott Young further. Steps by one across the red line and scores! Scott Young has buried it. 5-2, and there will be a game on Saturday.
Well, we can start talking about Saturday night now. I'm sure that for Team Canada, Messier will be back in the lineup. Even his presence alone means something. Team Canada showed in the third period how they have to play the game against a great team like Team USA, and that's to forecheck and work the boards. They did that. I think that will be their game plan for Saturday. For Team USA, they had a great start in this game. They got themselves comfortable. They got themselves the first goal by John Leclere at 7:06 of the first, and that carried them. It carried them. And Mike Richter, as we mentioned, was so strong, winning 3 games in the playoffs here last year with the Rangers. He now has won a great game here, and he was sensational in the third period.
Ron Wilson has said, until we beat Canada in a meaningful game, we can't say that we have respect. They have beaten them in a meaningful game. Even more respect can be grabbed on Saturday. That's a possibility that will be pretty exciting for everyone across the United States over the next 48 hours. 2 empty net goals. One by Tkachuk. One in the final